What is up, Retromaniacs? My name is Mike, his name is Joe, and his name is EP, and we're here to talk about cards. This week, we're here specifically to tell you about 8 sports card content creators we feel you guys need to watch. Going to start off with number 8 on the list, JMAX Sports Cards. EP, tell us a little about him.
JMAX, I just love his content. He's just tells it like it is. Talks about what he's doing, his different processes as far as being an eBay seller, and so much so that I purchased the feeder scanner that he recommended, and also purchased the thermal label printer that he uses. So like he again seems very very genuine, and just his talking about his journey and what he's doing. I like his content a lot.
Yeah, he's definitely a great channel to check out if you're an eBay seller, if you want to be an eBay seller, if you want to up your eBay selling. He's a bulk seller on there, so he has a lot of good tips and tricks for people that want to expand their eBay selling. All right, number 7 on the list here, Leighton Sports Cards. Joe, what do you like about them?
So I don't personally get into breaks. That's Mike's thing. But I like to see product being opened. And if you're someone who either wants just to see product get opened, new product get opened, or if you're someone who's actually thinking about getting into breaks and kind of want to know how it works and the process, for all their faults, Leighton to me is probably the most professional of the breakers. And if you're just going to watch one of their breaks, go and watch the recent Bowman baseball break that they did with SGC. I mean, very very professional. They put out a good product. And if you're interested in breaking, I would recommend watching them, at least to give you an idea of what the deal is with that process or that part of the hobby.
Yeah, and if you're interested in buying wax or buying into a break, it's really good to watch somebody who opens that much product so you can actually see what kind of stuff comes out of there. If you're going to spend $500 or $1,000 on a box, you can learn a lot about what you expect to get out of it. So that's always a good idea.
One other thing for people like that, for a breaker like that too, is they can tell they've opened enough that they can tell when they start opening stuff what the product's going to be like, and you can tell by their tone of voice and how they talk about it, like whether it's actually going to be a good product or not too. I like that.
All right, number 6, our old friend of the channel here, Ziggy. No, I'll handle this one a little bit. Ziggy's kind of an enigma in the hobby, maybe. I don't know if that's a fair term to call him. It's said with love. But, everybody seems to know Ziggy. Doesn't have the biggest channel out there, but like he throws a lot of ideas out there. He's not afraid to say how he feels, not afraid to challenge. Like he will challenge us. He'll challenge other people about their content. And, he is kind of a good watchdog for the hobby in a way. In fact that he likes to hold content creators, responsible for what they're putting out there. And I don't always agree with him, but I do respect his opinion. And I'm really glad there's somebody like that. I like when he challenges us. Like, it makes us look at what we're doing and consider the opinions we're giving and whether or not how strongly we believe them.
Discerning voices are an important thing in anything, especially in this hobby with the way things are. And whether you agree with him or not, you should still listen to his still like watch his content, because sometimes it's always important to listen to the side you disagree with just to understand.
And if you want to see any Prism basketball content, or I'm sorry, Prism Monopoly basketball content, definitely check out Ziggy's channel. He loves it, so it'll be a fun watch. But yeah, I agree with everything you guys say. Ziggy's great. He was one of the early supporters of our channel, and he does that a lot as well. That's one thing we shouldn't leave unmentioned. Mm-hmm. He does go out and shine a light on newer channels and push people to subscribe to them if he believes in what they're showing, what they're doing.
He also shows up in a lot of chats and stuff, and like he's out there and he's well known. He's connected
in the hobby, in general. Yeah, definitely. Yep. All right, number 5, EliteCo 3, our favorite PSA SGC revealer out there. So knowledgeable, like great cards. You can learn a lot about grading and how PSA grades and how the other companies grade just by watching his content.
He is appointment television. When I see that he drops, and he doesn't do them as much anymore because he's not sending out, because he himself says cards, there are a lot of cards that shouldn't be graded. It just doesn't make sense right now because of how expensive grading is. but his bulk reveals were always fascinating. And he puts a lot of cards that guys like us, and I think folks that watch our channel would appreciate. The stuff from the late 90s, early 2000s, junk wax. He grades it all, and he's very knowledgeable. I would almost rather him grade my cards than anyone who's grading cards at PSA or SGC or any of the other grading companies.
Definitely.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4, might know him, the sports card dad. He has been, without question, our biggest supporter. Again, we've talked about this before. Don't know why, but for some reason he's taken to our content and, you know, helped promote our content. But, you know, he has a great channel in his own right. You know, he's giving you daily content. Like, you can count on, okay, I'm going to check out the sports card dad video. I'm going to see what he has to say. And like, whether it's news or opinion or market or whatever, like, he has a video for it. Like, I don't know how he has so much time to be able to record all he does, but like, I really respect it. And I mean, fantastic.
It's also cool that he's now using his platform to, again, help other channels and like have other people on and do stuff. And that's we were one of the channels that were on there, and that's really to be in that position and then to do that is awesome. Like, it says a lot about his character and who he is.
And our most watched video ever, in terms of the three of us doing a video together, is on his channel right now. It's over 2,800 views. But Dustin's a great guy. We really appreciate what he's done for our channel. But just he does something that we are very different from us. He has these great little bite-sized videos where if you just want a 5 to 10 minute video telling you about the news of the day or an opinion that he has about a product, definitely go watch him. He's very knowledgeable about most of what he's talking about.
And if you're into Stranger Things cards, that is the home. That is where you want to go.
All right, notifications right away.
Yes, definitely. Number 3, Dan the Card Man. You know, we've talked about him on the podcast a little bit last week. He has a great channel, and like, he's grown quite a bit over the last 6 months, I want to say too, like, and which is great. He provides like 3 to 4 videos usually a week, and usually like more news, hobby news based kind of stuff with his opinion on it. But he has some great takes. Like, I know like his job is, I forget exactly what it is, but it like gives him a unique perspective on some of the business side of what's going on with stuff. And like, I just, whether it's the Australian accent or it's the content that's there, I just like, I can't stop watching when I do watch him. And I really do enjoy, respect his opinion on stuff.
Go ahead, EP.
I was just going to say that, you know, like, I think he's been called a watchdog before, right? Like, he's kind of one of those people hate that term, but I mean, every industry. And if you think this hobby is not an industry with the amount of money that is changing hands, like, you need to have somebody like that in the people, voices like that in the industry that are questioning things, just like we said about Ziggy. Like, that's very important.
And you know, we're going to talk about another watchdog here shortly. He's kind of a more soothing. He's not as accusatory. He comes from a different perspective than some of the other folks that we'll talk about.
He's very rational, like
very rational. It's not. He does not have a clickbait channel. That's the easiest way to put it.
All right, number 2, sports card radio. Love them. Some people love them. Some people hate them. Depends on what side of the fence you're on. If you're a big Jeff Wilson supporter, you probably don't like them a whole lot. But I love their content. And, you know, again, they might rub people the wrong way sometimes, but I feel like they are providing a very, very important service for the hobby. I don't care. You want to call it negative content. If the negativity, if this stuff wasn't going on in the hobby, they wouldn't have to report on it. I don't think I'm ever going to call people who are going to report on the shenanigans and the frauds that are being pulled in our hobby as negative. People need to know about that. The only people that don't want people to hear about it are the people who are trying to pull off the fraud in the hobby. So you really need to ask, are they negative, or are they just calling you out for something you might be doing? They need to be in this hobby, and I'm glad that they've taken the spot they are right now. I feel like they are the channel to go to find out about any of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, when we did a video last year talking about content creators, I had brought up Sports Card Radio, and I said back then, it's like they may rub you the wrong way, but it's coming from a good place because they understand, and they're not new to this either. I think a lot of
No.
folks have seen that the channel is a little bit newer, but they've been doing this stuff all the way back at least 10 years or so now. They had a podcast and a website. So a lot of the stuff that they're bringing up are a lot of the things that I think we talk about too, that just rub us the wrong way about the hobby. And you can tell you're doing good work when the people in the hobby that you know are kind of shady are trying to push you down and sue you in some cases, and try and brush you aside. So yeah, definitely doing good work. And if you want to know about the ins and outs of some of the shadier parts of the hobby, they're a must watch.
A perfect example of another voice that you may not agree with, but you should definitely watch their content because you're going to learn stuff. Like you're gonna know what's going on in all facets, or maybe not all facets, but a lot of facets of the hobby that don't always get the light shine on it.
And number one of our all three of our favorites, baseball card collector, investor, dealer, Chris Sewell. Holy cow! Like, if there's anything you want to learn about card collecting, go to his channel. You'll find it somewhere there. Be it grading, be it flipping cards and making money on cards, be it collecting for yourself, be it buying out collections, being a dealer, whatever. Almost every aspect of the hobby he covers in his videos, and just does it in his laid back, unbombastic style. Like, there's something about his delivery that is just soothing to watch, but he's so knowledgeable. And like, again, anything you want to know, you can learn from his channel.
I was doing a great reorganization of my cards where I was like separating everything out, collating sets, and and it was hours and hours and hours, for days it seemed, just to get everything organized. I have a touch of OCD, so just to get everything organized, and I put him on the background. Like, I went to one of his created playlists, and it was him buying collections, right? And like the stories about buying collections, right? And it got to the point where Rob came into the den where I was doing this and goes, "Are you still watching him?" Like, it was hours and hours. And just I mentioned this to you guys before, just a little testimonial. Someone had texted me, a friend of ours from back in the day at the card shop, who's getting back into cards, and they said, "Who's someone who I should follow? If you could recommend one channel to follow as I'm getting back into cards, which
other than our own?"
Obviously, we're number
Yeah,
1A,
yeah.
right? Obviously, he does listen to us already. So other than us, I said, you have to watch Baseball Card Collector, Investor, Dealer, Chris Sewell. And I'm going to plug it before I hand it off to EP. I got to plug the 8 questions we did with not just Chris, but also Dustin and Ziggy. Go watch those if you want to learn about some of them outside of the hobby and some of the collecting they've done. They're great videos. But Chris was great, and he is our most watched. So that's to Dustin and to Ziggy. Get your fan bases to watch those videos. Chris is blowing you away.
Yeah, the number of stories he has, the wealth of stories, the wealth of information he has, makes it, like you said, his laid back delivery. Like, that's all you need if you have the information and the stories he has, and it's just infinitely enjoyable.
I believe I called it unbombastic.
Yes, unbombastic. Yep. Yeah, he's great.
He is. Okay. Well, there you go. That's our list of 8 sports card content creators you guys need to watch. We'll see you guys next week. Take care, guys.
See you, boys.